Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Sports Podcast with Magoon. This podcast is going to be about the NFL, NHL, NBA, you name it, any sporting event going on. Also, we will be inviting listeners to come join the podcast for a few minutes and discuss or talk about anything going on in the sporting world. Today, we will be talking about will the Raptors win their first NBA championship? Also, Curry and Klay combining for 57 points in Game 5. What does that mean for Klay? Kawhi Leonard taking over in the playoffs, and is he staying or leaving for the Raptors? Also, we will be talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs, and will the Bruins or the Blues take home the cup on Wednesday? All right, we're going to get into our first topic of will the Raptors win an NBA championship after losing Game 5 106 to 105 to Golden State. I think they will. I think they'll get it done in Game 6 at Oracle. They won 2 away already, and I think they'll go on to do the same thing and win the third one away game. But interesting enough, I've collected a little stat here, and looking at this, the games that even when Kawhi is, getting 30, 36 points, 30 points, something in there, the games that the Raptors win is the games that, for instance, Siakam had 32 points Game 1. They won. No one had 20 points in Game 2 for the Raptors besides Kawhi. They lost that game. Going on, Game 3, Lowry had 23. They won that game. That was at Golden State. Also, Serge Ibaka had 20. They won that game at Golden State. Then in Game 5, no one else had over 20 points except Kawhi. And the reason I collected that stat is because it's interesting enough to look at that if somebody on their team can get 20 or more points and Kawhi gets his normal average points, they usually win. So the 2 games they lost, no one got 20 points. They were close, 18-17, but they didn't win. But when they had 20 points, when someone had 20 points on their team, they won. But moving on, the real question is, will we see this man here, Curry, will we see him continue to put up the numbers that he does? Because Game 1, he's shot... He went 34 points in Game 1. Game 2, he had 23. Game 3, 47. Game 4, 27. And Game 5, 31. So it's not really in that consistent average right there. You go 34, 20, 40, 20, 30. But in my opinion, I think in order for Golden State to win, Curry's gotta put up another 30, 40-point game. He's got to put up another 30, 40-point game. And also, this man here, Klay Thompson's got to put up another 30 or 40-point game. Finish out. He hasn't so far. He's put up around 28, 26 in that area. But I think if Klay could put up 30, because now you're looking at if Draymond Green somehow, in some way, gets a technical foul in Game 6, he will be suspended Game 7. All right, so that will leave DeMarcus Cousins, Klay, and Curry really as the scorers. Iguodala is here or there. But if somehow Draymond goes out and doesn't get his 10 or 12 or 14 points that he usually gets, then you're going to have to add on to the load. And that's the other thing. I think the Raptors can win it because they're probably one of the best road teams in the playoffs right now. And I think that is important to look at because when's the last time you've seen a team go to Oracle in a series and win almost every road game? I mean, you really haven't. Granted, Warriors usually have home court, but not having home court this time, it's interesting to see that the Raptors can win the away games. And when I say win the away games, I mean they can win 123 to 109 away. 105 to 92 was the other game. That was a little bit closer in Game 4 at Oracle, but Game 3 at Oracle, 123 to 109. So I'm looking at that, and I'm saying Well, you're giving them a good 10, 20 points almost, 10, 20 point win over you at your home court. And then the games they lost, which was game 2 and game 5, I mean, you're looking at that. They lost, 109 to 104 at home. They lost 105 to 106. I mean, those are tight games. The Warriors are winning by nothing much but 1 and 5 points. But you're looking at the Raptors. The first win they got 118 to 109, won by 9, 123 to 109, and then 105 to 92. Now, will I say will it not be a close game in Game 6? I'm not saying that. But do I think the Raptors can win by 10? Maybe. Maybe. Because you're looking at this and I'm sitting here and I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think the Raptors have the mindset is you don't want to go to a Game 7, but you're going to be more aggressive, more like attacking on the offensive side. Not that they haven't already been like that, but you don't want it to go to a Game 7, but what do they have to lose by going back to their home court and winning in front of their fans, you know? I just think they'll be more aggressive, and then they'll be more attacking on the offensive side. And I can see maybe if Draymond somehow gets a technical, he won't go out that game. I think he'll still be able to play, but he'll get suspended Game 7. If I'm not correct, I might be wrong on that. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. We've seen Draymond in those situations again. If you get under his skin, get them in foul trouble, get Draymond in foul trouble, get Klay in foul trouble. Like Klay in this game had, 2 fouls in the first half? 3 almost? You just got to get him in foul trouble. Attack the paint, draw fouls, get to the line. And that's the other thing. Raptors are exceedingly well at the free throw line. So getting them there does not help the Warriors in any shape or form. Now, looking at Game 5, let's talk about Game 5 for a second. Looking at Game 5, we see Kawhi Leonard, 26 points, went on a 12-2 run in the fourth quarter and still lost. And yes, they did lose that game with the run they had, but look at everyone else's, outcome. Danny Green, 4 points. He's usually a guy that can put around, 8, 10 maybe, 8 or 10. Siakam with 12, he could score a lot more, maybe. Gasol with 17, he had a pretty good game. Lowry with 18, I believe, was a good game for him, and Ibaka with 15, and Van Vliet with 11. But the real problem is the moment that they had KD gave them a huge lead because he shot 3 for 3 from the field goal or from the 3-point line, and they started out, they were up by like 10 most of the game until the fourth quarter. And I think having KD start out, getting them that high up, helped them a lot. But you also have to look at Draymond's 10 and DeMarcus Cousins 14. But when I'm looking at the Warriors team, and the reason I think the Raptors will win in 6 is because we look at their team and we say Green got 10, Iguodala got 5, Jordan Bell got 2, Looney 4, and Quentin Cook had 3. So besides Curry's 31, Thompson's 26, and Cousins 14, who else are you going to get to score for you? Because KD's out. Draymond might get that 1-game suspension if he gets another technical. You only have 3 guys in double digits. I just can't see a team winning like that. I can't. Unless Curry drops 47 like he did in Game 3, and Klay drops 28 or more. I mean, maybe they'll have a chance, but as of right now, you look at the Raptors team and you look, and like I was saying, Siakam 12, Leonard 26, everyone had around double digits. Guys off the bench had double digits. The fact that they did not win this game tonight kind of shocked me, because granted they were down 10 or so, most of the game, but they were really playing solid basketball, all in all. I mean, granted that Golden State 34-28 in the first, points scored, and then the second Golden State scored 28, Toronto 28, and then the third 22-22, and then in the fourth Toronto had 27 and Golden State had 22. So they outscored them. They kept with them in the second and the third, and they outscored them in the fourth quarter. But the first quarter is really where it hurt, because you were down 3 possessions. So looking at that, I just can't see the Warriors going home. They might go home and they might protect home court, but I can't see them going back to the Raptors and winning a Game 7 home court advantage. Only 3 guys. If Draymond gets that 1 game suspension in the Game 7, gets the technical, I cannot see you winning that game. If he doesn't, maybe it's a different story. But as of right now, I have the Raptors in 6. I think they'll go to Oracle Arena. I think they'll beat the Warriors at Oracle, and they will win the champ, their first champ for the franchise. And now we're going to cut to a quick break, and we'll be right back. If you want a chance to join the podcast, make sure you guys click the link below in the description to join the Discord, and maybe you'll have a chance to join. All right, welcome back from the break. So we're going to get into our next point, and that is going to be looking at Curry and Klay Thompson's combining for 57 points in Game 5. What does that mean for Klay Thompson in his free agency? So what I mean by that is Curry and Klay combining, you always know they combine for 40, 50 points a game or more, maybe 60 on a really good night for Curry. What does that mean for Klay, you know? Well, do we think Klay's going to stay, or do we think Klay's going to go? And I think with the money that he can get, he's lost $10 million because of the Supermax deal, because he didn't get all NBA any team, first, second, third. So he lost his Supermax deal, but he could still get up to I think it was $120 million or so, $110 million from a team. So I think if the Warriors cannot offer that much, I think Klay might leave. He's talked about leaving. I'm not going to say that he is leaving for sure, because Klay and Curry have been, the Splash Bros for so long. Part of me says there's no way he'll leave Curry, especially this late. I wouldn't say it's that late in their careers. They're still in that prime time area, but they're kind of heading towards the end, I would say, or towards the end of their prime. So I don't know if I can see Klay leaving, but part of me also thinks Klay will leave. And if Klay goes to any team, it will be a benefit for them, but we got to think about the Warriors. Will the Warriors restack up on the free agency market, or will they not? Because we're talking about Klay, and we're talking about, the possibility of losing one of the best spot-up shooters in the league. If I'm Klay, I would say, hey, where's KD going to go? If KD's really serious about leaving, which I've heard he is, and I've heard teams of like New York Knicks and, the Washington Wizards, I think is still a possibility. I think Klay will consider maybe leaving too. But you also have to realize they've won, 3, 4 champs now? So you've won NBA titles. Do you want to leave a team to go win another title? Or do you want to stay with Curry to solidify your legacy as a Warrior, even though it's already solidified there? I think Klay should stay with the Warriors, finish out his career with Curry at the Warriors, and let the Warriors just restack around them. Now, for KD, on the other hand, I think KD should leave. I think KD is time to go find another team. If you want the prime spotlight, and if you want to say it's your team, then go to the Knicks, because they can offer you the money too. But if you want to win some more championships and go back to your hometown, I think the Washington Wizards would be a great fit for KD. Do they have the money? Probably. I'm not really sure what their cap space is, but I'm sure they could figure it out if KD would want to go back to his hometown and possibly win a championship for his hometown team, the Wizards. Now, will he? I don't know, because they have John Wall, they have Bradley Beal, and just think about that lineup for a second. You got John Wall, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. And I'm not going to say that trio is better than Curry, KD, and Klay, but I'm going to say that trio is just, I wouldn't say they're just as good, but they're there. Maybe not in three-point shooting. Bradley Beal can shoot the three, John Wall here and there, but all those guys can put up numbers. They can. So, Klay, to me, I think there's a higher chance of him staying with the Warriors than leaving the Warriors. He's talked about going to Los Angeles a lot, but I really do think that Klay is going to stay in the Bay Area with Curry, finish out his years with Curry, and possibly get the Warriors to just re-sign people and sign people around those two guys. Now for KD, like I was saying before, I think he's done with the Warriors. He's talked about it. They've talked about it. There's a lot of teams that want him that can offer the Supermax deals to him. Now, with the Achilles injuries that he just suffered tonight, will he get the Supermax deal? Yes. But are teams hesitant to sign him now? Probably. Because an Achilles injury is a long recovery. So you're looking at a KD with I think they said a broken Achilles. They're doing an MRI tomorrow, but I don't know. I think teams will be hesitant to sign him, but all in all, I really think the Knicks and the Wizards still might throw in, their hat into the auction and try to get him, because looking at KD's talent and when he is healthy, I will have to say this, and I'm going to say it with all truthfulness right here. I think KD is one of the most unguardable players ever when he's healthy. Because you've seen him on LeBron, you've seen him on Kawhi, I've seen him on a lot of people, and he knocks down shots in people's face. It's just the wingspan and the length of his body and the length of his wingspan and just the shot form that he has makes him one of the most deadliest players in the league. And when he's healthy, I would say he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. So, if I'm KD, if you want an easier path to the finals and you want to go play with some ballers, go play with the Wizards. Go play with John Wall. Go play with Bradley Beal. Have an easier path to the finals by going to the East. You'll have to go through the Raptors and the Bucks. But I mean, other than that, the Celtics, if they might lose Kyrie. So if Celtics don't keep Kyrie, I mean, are they going to be not a team to, really consider as like a good team? I would still think they're a good team. Are they good like the Bucks and the Raptors? No. I wouldn't say they're as good as them if Kyrie leaves. Because watching what the Bucks did to them, there's even with Kyrie, I don't know. If I'm the Wizards and you get KD, all you have to worry about is getting past the Bucks and the Raptors. But looking at all this, I think all in all, final decision, KD's leaving. And I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you think KD is done with the Warriors. Let me know if you think he's staying. Let me know what team you think he might go to. And the same goes for Klay. Let me know if you think Klay's leaving, if Klay's staying, if he's leaving, which team will he go to. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back. If you want to check out the late night podcast that I do with my friend Houston, the link will be in the description below, and I think you guys should check it out. It is pretty interesting and funny, so yeah. All right, we are back, about to get into our third topic of today's podcast. Kawhi Leonard taking over in the playoffs, and is he staying or leaving on Toronto? Now, watching the pregame today of the finals, they've talked about this themselves. Chris Bosh thinks that he will stay. I also think that Tracy said he'll he's probably leaving, and then also we had Vince Carter saying that he's probably staying. Now, personally, me, not taking from their opinions, I'm just saying my opinion myself. I think Kawhi Leonard is staying. There's no way he'll leave. He's got Lowry, Ibaka, and Gasol's contract is up, but he's got Siakam, who's I would say is a younger version of Draymond, but a better offensive scorer. But yeah, I think Kawhi is happy where he is, and he's got the whole country behind him. I just can't see him leaving. I think even with his contract up this year, I think they offer him the money. I think they get rid of Gasol, even though he's doing great in the finals right now. But I think you reload. I think you find other people out there like Lopez will probably re-sign with the Bucks. He's a free agent out there. But real quick, I will pull up the free agency so you guys can see who is who in this year's free agency. So, for instance, right here we got Leonard. As you can see up here, we got Leonard. He is a player option. That's the good part about this, is that Leonard is a player option, and he has the decision to choose where he would like to, if he would like to leave or stay, which is you always would like to hear that if you're a Raptors fan, because I mean, shoot, he's bringing you a championship this year easily. I just can't see any other way. But this is what I really want to get into. You see guys right here, Nikola Vucevic and Tobias Harris, both on the free agent markets, both unrestricted free agents. And now I think Vucevic would be a great fit for the Raptors. I think Vucevic would be a great fit with Kawhi Leonard and Siakam. And you still have, Kyle Lowry running your point, Van Vliet off the bench, Serge Ibaka off the bench. You really need to fill in Vucevic there and have a shooting guard, And I think as old, I mean, JJ Redick is old, yes, but he's still a very good shooting, guard. And I think if I'm the Raptors, you could put Danny Green on the bench, who would be a good bench guard, and then put JJ Redick at the shooting guard. Have a little spot-up shooter of your own. I think, though, that Kawhi will stay, and I think they'll help Kawhi build a team around him, which will help them even more for next year. Now, for the Bucks, on the other hand, talking about this, do I think the Bucks will lose to the Raptors next year? I don't know. That's a toss-up. I think the Bucks have just as good a chance as they did this year against the Raptors, even though they did not, win that series. I think the Bucks still have a really good chance to beat the Raptors and head to the finals themselves. But I think that Kawhi will be staying with the Raptors, and I think Kawhi knows that they will do whatever they need to do to build a team around Kawhi to continue winning championships. Could the Raptors win back-to-back? Maybe. Depends what they do in the free agency. If they keep Kawhi and they sign maybe Vucevic, even though he'll want a lot of money, but if they have the cap room to sign Vucevic, maybe even, get JJ Redick, like I was saying, maybe they could possibly win back-to-backs. That's in consideration. The only problem is Giannis and the Bucks. Even though Malcolm Brogdon's contract's up, Chris Middleton's contract is up, and Lopez's contract is up. Now, Brogdon is a restricted free agent, so he's probably not going to go anywhere. But Middleton and Lopez, do I think Middleton will re-sign with the Bucks? Possibly, yes. But Lopez, I don't know. I think Lopez might if the Bucks offer him. But if they do keep the same team that they had and they add someone else, like maybe say they add JJ Redick, add another shooter on their team, I think the Bucks have a good chance of going to the finals and winning too. Because I think once KD leaves the Warriors, and I still think that it's a strong possibility he will leave, maybe if the Lakers get Kyrie, you might see the Lakers in the finals against the Bucks or the Raptors, or you might see maybe the Warriors. That might be a long stretch, but maybe the Warriors, the Rockets, or the Lakers in the finals against the Bucks and the Raptors. And I'm not gonna doubt the King himself, LeBron, but I will say if the Raptors and the Bucks are in the finals, it's going to be hard for a West team to beat them. Maybe if it was the Thunder, who kind of matches up with them, Paul George, Defensive Player of the Year, or is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I think the Thunder have a good chance to make the finals too. I don't know. Because if you look at the Lakers, if they add this free agency, add Kyrie, it's a toss up again. It could be the Warriors, the Lakers, the Rockets, the Thunder, the Trailblazers. All those are toss up teams. But in the East, you kind of have the idea, the understanding of the Raptors and the Bucks Eastern Conference Finals every year. Unless, as what I was saying earlier, if KD went to the Wizards, then it could be the Wizards, the Raptors, or the Bucks and the Wizards, or anything could go. But if he doesn't, and it stays the same, I think we'll see the same Bucks and Raptors Eastern Conference Finals next year, and we'll see who goes from that. But we are going to another quick break, and we'll be right back with the Sports Podcast with Magoon. If you guys want to go check out my main YouTube channel where I post gameplays and stream highlights, make sure you guys click the link below. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals of the Blues and the Bruins. I think the Blues and the Bruins series is probably one of the best Stanley Cup Finals I've seen. It's been a story and a roller coaster ride through it. But really looking at it, we have to get into how Boston played in Game 6 at the Blues at St. Louis. I think they played phenomenal. Marchand with 2 points, a goal and assist, and Pasternak goal and assist that game. I think they played really good. They came out aggressive. They got the first goal, and then they scored the 4 in the third. And I think it's really important to know that even though you saw that 5-1 win, I think, and I hope that Binnington will have the same turnaround as he had when they lost 7-2. Because if you remember, they lost 7-2. They went to the Boston Bruins. They went to Boston and they won. He had the turnaround game. They won after losing 7-2 and getting pulled. I think for Binnington, the 5-1 game is the same as that 7-2 game. You got to turn it around. You got to step it up. Last game, give it all you got. Play out of your mind. And I mean, I really do think, I do believe that, Binnington getting them to where they are now, coming in mid-season behind Jake Allen, who is on the decline, as we can tell. I think getting them to where they are now and possibly winning his first Stanley Cup with the Blues and winning Tarasenko's first cup and Petrangelo's first cup and O'Reilly's first cup, I think that would be something to celebrate because, I mean, you really have to look at where the Blues were mid-season. And then they made the switch at goaltender. They put Binnington in, and now they made the playoffs. They made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Ryan O'Reilly's been playing out of his mind in this playoffs. Tarasenko's been good. Petrangelo's been good. All the guys have been good, the pieces that they have. Now, will Binnington maybe let a goal in early? Possibly. But that's where I was going to go get into is I think the first team to score a goal in this Game 7 is going to win. And the reason why I say that is because most of the times when I've been to so many games of NHL games, I've seen it. Usually the team that scores first wins. That's not the case all the time, but for instance, this last Game 6 at St. Louis, Boston scored first. St. Louis did not score in the first or the second period. Boston scored in the first, did not score in the second, and they scored 4 in the third. But either way, Boston scored first, and they kept that lead through the third, which forced the Blues to pull Binnington, go for an empty net, try to get back into the game. So I think going in to Game 7 at Boston, I would say I don't have a clear pick. I would say whoever scores first is going to win, in my opinion. If Boston scores first, they're going to win. If St. Louis scores first, they're going to win. So, knowing that, we'll just have to see for Game 7. And let me know in the comments below if you guys think the Bruins are going to win or the St. Louis Blues are going to win. That game is on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Make sure you guys watch that game. It's going to be a really good one if you have nothing else to watch. That is all the time we have on this podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hope you guys will be joining us on the next episode of the podcast. If you did enjoy, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and the like button and hit the bell for the notification for the next episode. And hope you guys have a fantastic day.